What if you have 9 beautiful senior sisters? Of course. Of course, I will take them all. I woke up now and was placed in the center by several beauties. Seeing me open my eyes, they all gathered around, murmuring, "Everyone look! Xiao Shu is awake." And the uncle they mentioned was me. Today is the wedding day of the 9 disciples of Sword Immortal sect, but was suddenly attacked by the blood demon ancestor. The sect leader and 9 disciples all died in battle. The entire direct line only had one survivor. Just when they were about to be wiped out, I unexpectedly traveled through with a thunderclap. I killed the blood demon ancestor. 15th, I became the last disciple of the Sword Immortal sect. When I woke up, I was told of bad news by my sisters. Although the first killed the blood demon ancestor, but due to the power of the lightning, it also destroyed my spiritual root. Fortunately, my 9 sisters are kind-hearted. They would protect me for the rest of my life. So on the first day I crossed into the Sword Immortal sect, I got 9 bowls of chicken. However, what they didn't know was that those who cross over must have golden fingers. Just need to clock in for 10 years. I have hope of rooting, day after day. I saw the people in the sect. I saw that I couldn't cultivate but occupied top resources. All kinds of malicious rumors have arisen, and I silently endured everything. But today, the 10-year check-in period is over. I successfully activated the God-level choice system. But the first random task made me want to curse. Holding Nangong Jiao can reward a spirit root. If I do nothing, the system will be permanently closed. I was very resistant to this task. But with the appearance of the elder sister, sister is so beautiful. The system is so good. I accepted this task. I'm better than a beast without a root. I'd rather be a beast with a root. So I had an idea. I pushed her thigh to show that I was a disciple of the sect. I'm a useless person without roots, and only dragged my sister down. Then I jumped off. And jumped off the cliff of Sword Sect. Sure enough, the eldest sister saw me wanting to die, and was very anxious, and jumped down. She then held me tightly in her arms. "Fool, we depend on each other. Sister, I won't let you die." At this time, the system voice really sounded. Congratulations on the host's preliminary completion of the God-level choice, and awarded me a filing in. The spirit root will evolve with the time of Baoju Nan Deng Jiao. Continue to evolve and upgrade. So I had to start my performance again. Sure enough, the energy bar also started to rise rapidly. In the eyes of the disciples, the head sister was hugging a cripple. They didn't know what had happened. Elder Yuan Qi of the outer sect was even more furious. She has been pursuing Nangong Zhao for so long, but now she is hugging a cripple. This is a living slap in the face. But Nangong Zhao in the air was oblivious. I only felt that my danshin was getting bigger and bigger, and felt uncomfortable all over. I also got a system prompt. Reward spiritual root. Evolved into the legendary Heavenly Tao spiritual root, Zhuanyangnang root, which can absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and the speed is 10,000 times that of others. In an instant, the world changed color. Countless spiritual energy swarmed in. I felt my body was burning hot. A phantom of a phoenix stood in the air. The little tree stepped back. I want to break through. After Sister Ju broke through the peak of infant stage, her disciples were all talking about it. After all, the Xuanfeng spiritual root is rare, and only the sect leader Nan Kongzhao has it. Elder Yuan of Wanmen was so angry that he broke the teapot. Xuanfeng Forest is against the sky. This time, he broke through again. The entire outer sect is no match for him. If he wants to occupy the sword sect, he must strike before its foundation is stable. To strike first. At this moment, the John was very proud. He finally made a deal again. He successfully helped the eldest sister break through. If the other sisters knew, they would eat me alive. But at this moment, a voice came into his ears. The Xuan was shocked. There was no one around. Who is lying? Then a fairy girl appeared in front of the young man. She said it was unlucky. The new host is an old pervert. The girl turned out to be the manager of the system. Her appearance. To determine whether the Xuan would bind to the system. With Linger's introduction, the Xuan also knew that the system has a long history. No one knows its origin. Only know that it has experienced countless hosts. Some became the supreme founding emperor. Some became the great immortal who ascended during the day, while others became the unparalleled god of war. But they all made the wrong choice in life and death. It's called the choice of the machine. A thought leads to life or death. One step to heaven or one step to hell. I don't know if you have the ability. Dare to bind the system. The Xuan was mediocre in 2 lifetimes. And this life is even more painful. Now that such a good opportunity is in front of him, he must become stronger than everyone else. Binding is a lifetime without regrets. Seeing the John so determined, the elf girl, she finally showed a satisfied look on her face. After telling him not to reveal the system, she disappeared from his sight. While checking the system, the Xuan unexpectedly discovered that, although Zhangyang Longzhen's cultivation speed is far beyond others, it can only be cultivated with the Xuanyin spiritual root. Otherwise, he would risk exploding and dying. Seeing this, the shameless teenager smiled. My 9 senior sisters seem to have this attribute. Then wouldn't it be easy for the John in the future? To verify his current cultivation level, he flew into the sky with several vertical jumps. Looking at the mountains and rivers below, the Xuan roared wildly. So this is the feeling of having spiritual power. It's really refreshing. At this time, a beautiful voice came from afar. What are you doing? I heard your laughter from afar. It was Huang You Are Wrong, the second elder of Shanjin sect. He accelerated his flying sword and came to the boy. She said she heard the Zhan's laughter from afar. Today is the day when the sect distributes pills. So he just came over and took the young man with him. Outside the sect's main hall, all the disciples were discussing. After all, Nankang Zhao is the sect leader. Today, he hugged and kissed the Zhan in the air. But countless people saw it. So various versions of rumors spread. But when they saw the second elder bringing the Zhan over, the discussions all stopped. Only Yuanba was still arrogant over there, saying that the Zhan didn't even have spiritual roots. Why give him a spiritual root? That's a waste of resources. Yuanba is Yuanji. He used to rely on his sisters, the disciple of the imaginary sect. He has humiliated himself a lot this time. The second sister was directly angered by this. Uncle lost his spiritual root by saving himself and others. but he was his uncle in terms of seniority. He dared to speak so rudely. He immediately asked someone to take Yuan to find the law enforcement officer, although Yuanba was stolen by the disciple. But he didn't say a word. He directly called the zoo a turtle. Only know to hide under women's skirts. If you have the guts, fight me one-on-one. The Xuan was directly angry, rolled up his sleeves and was ready to fight. At this time, the system task appeared again. Unlike the beginning, there were two tasks. The first is to fight against the queen, and the other is to obtain a rare treasure. Otherwise, he will be a shrinking turtle. A turtle shell will grow on his head, and it can't be removed. The second is to see Huang you are wrong. Will be rewarded with a pill. Otherwise, my good brother will be half smaller. Damn it, the system is so malicious that it grows a turtle shell. Su Xiao, my good brother. What the hell is Task 2? I've never seen it in my life. Duduma borrows money. Looking at the task issued by the system, he stood there. Although these two tasks seem difficult, there seems to be some hidden connection. Sure enough, this system is so perverted. I really like it. Randomly, the Xuan asks his second sister not to interfere in his affairs. Today, he will make Yuanba kneel and call him father. Then he turned to Yuanba and said, saying that he couldn't sense the snacks. So, each of them hid a snack in any place of the sword. As long as one finds the other's snack first, the other person can do whatever he wants. Seeing that the Xuan easily fell for his provocation, Yuanba also smiled proudly. The second sister worriedly looked at her little book and made such a bet in public. If they lost, even her sisters couldn't favor her. Unexpectedly, Dijan pulled her second sister and whispered something to her sister. Huang Yuornong blushed with shame, but the prompt for random task 2 popped up immediately. The prompt of completed task. With 2 drops of bright red blood flowing from his nose, the Xuan waved his hand and said Yuan's grandson was hidden. If you didn't hide it, don't waste your time. On the square, they confronted each other for a long time. Yuan even used all his power. He couldn't find the Xuan's whereabouts. On the contrary, the Xuan was smiling. He flashed and pulled out Yuan's small cane. I didn't hide. The snacks were hidden in it. Yuan was furious when he was caught red-handed. Then he said the Xuan must have cheated. It must be the help of the second elder. And not only the second elder. You and the sect leader, hugging and kissing. Everyone saw it. Hearing this, Huang Yuerong was also angry. This kid dares to spread rumors without entering the sect master. He immediately asked his disciples to escort Yu Wenba to the law hall. However, but was stopped by the John with a gloomy face. Yu Wenba thought the Xuan was afraid and mocked him as a fair-faced man. Today, he would, on behalf of the outer disciples, to expel the Xuan from Zhangsanzang, but before he finished speaking, the Xuan punched him. Yu Wenba, who was humiliated in public, was furious. Ignoring the disciples around him, he jumped up and wanted to fight with the John. But the John immediately swallowed the power pill and dodged the opponent's attack with a sidestep. Then he used the Lai Sheng God Palm and hit Yu Wenba 8 times with the Dali pill. 8 hands. After punching, he didn't forget to breathe heavily. 10,000 disciples came forward to gently probe Yu. He found that he had already lost his breath. Ni Xianing turned to everyone with a gloomy face. Jiangshin sect's rule is those who don't respect the leader will die. Since the Jian exceeded the system's task today, so he was rewarded with the ancient body-breaking fairy sword. But he didn't know that this was the red. While he was in a daze, he was threatened by a pair of small hands. It was the second sister who helped her hide snacks. Huang Yorong, a young man, and wanted to help his second sister take out the snacks.